Out of all of the Robins in the DC universe, the Joker has tormented one a lot more than the others. And that Robin is of course Jason Todd. During the infamous Death in the Family storyline, the Joker nearly beats Jason to death with a crowbar and then blows him up with a bomb, killing him. But this is comics, and being murdered is rarely the end of a hero's story, and Jason Todd is no exception to this. And so many years later he was resurrected, which meant that the Joker could torment him even further. And he did. He's Joker gassed Jason, he's tortured him, and even abducted him and recreated the scene of his mother's overdose just to mess with Jason's head. And he even tried to convince Jason that he had organised every bad thing that's ever happened in his entire life, including Two-Face killing Jason's father. Now the Joker does screw with all of the Robins of course, but he goes the extra mile to screw with Jason Todd. So given all of this, Jason naturally has a lot of pent-up anger and a very strong desire to get revenge against the Joker. But for the most part, he's actually showed a lot of restraint, at least when you consider what the Joker has put him through. And somehow Jason has managed to stop himself from killing the Joker for years. But with that being said, Jason is only human, and so he has lost control from time to time and killed the Joker. Not only in different continuities, but also in the main DC timeline. And this video is going to go over all the times that Jason Todd has killed the Joker. Under the Red Hood anniversary film. Now, during the original Under the Red Hood film, Jason abducts and beats the Joker with a crowbar, but he doesn't actually kill him. However, in the anniversary edition of Under the Red Hood, this changes. The new version of the movie is an interactive movie that allows you to choose what happens in the story, and depending on your choices, different endings occur, such as Batman dying and being resurrected in the Lazarus pit, but his mind being gone, and so he's essentially just a zombie who does whatever Talia al Ghul tells him to do. And so Jason ends up having to stab him in the heart and kill him all over again in order to free him from his torturous existence. But of course, Batman has the last laugh as he detonates a bomb that he had in his hand and kills himself and Jason Todd as well. Yeah, the anniversary edition is very dark in places. And in other endings, Jason finally kills the Joker. 2 endings to be precise. In one of them, Batman dies in the explosion at the beginning instead of Jason Todd. And so Jason Todd becomes obsessed with finding the Joker in order to get revenge. And pretty much all of the Justice League drop by to tell him how great Batman was and what a loss it is. Though really, I think they're all there because they know Jason is going to go on a killing rampage and they're trying to talk him out of it. But ultimately, they just don't get through to him. So Jason goes to a diner and starts talking to a stranger. Only it turns out that it's the Joker, who has become a normal human now that Batman is gone. As without Batman, he has no reason to be the Joker, so he's just a boring everyday citizen. But obviously Jason has worked out where he is and who he is, and he sees through this disguise, and so he stabs Joker in the eye with a butter knife. And the Joker laughs dementedly as he slowly dies from the wound. And as for Jason Todd, he is arrested and goes to prison for murder, and spends the rest of his life behind bars beating up criminals. And probably killing a lot of them too, I imagine. But there's also a different choice you can make in this, where instead of Jason going to prison, he can instead kill the police officers who are trying to arrest him, and then spends the rest of his life murdering criminals in Gotham City as a vigilante. In either occasion, he basically spends the rest of his life beating up criminals. It's just whether he's in prison or not. And as for the other time that he kills the Joker, the story starts off pretty much the same as the classic film, except that once again, Batman dies, and then Jason becomes the Red Hood and takes down the criminals of Gotham one by one until he finally works his way to the Joker. And the Joker and Jason have a showdown on the bridge. And his plan is to capture the Joker, as he swore to Batman that he wouldn't kill. But as they're talking, the Joker reveals some truths to Jason. You see, Jason thought that he was taking down the criminals so they could face justice. Basically, he was just getting them arrested. But in reality, he's been killing the criminals. It seems that all the torture and the death of Batman has broken Jason's mind, and now he's a bit of a mixed up psychopath who genuinely thought he wasn't killing anyone and was honouring Batman's memory. But instead, he'd been killing pretty much every criminal he came across. But now he knows that he's been doing this, you can choose to spare the Joker, in which case the Joker gets arrested and Jason goes and gets help from Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon, or you shoot the Joker and then the Joker's body is incinerated, which then leads to Batman coming back from the dead as a mindless zombie, which is the ending I mentioned before. But in either case, it's all pretty dark for Jason as he's gone mental and gone on a killing spree. Basically, there's just no happy ending in the Under the Red Hood film. The Three Jokers. Now, in this comic book story, there are, as the title suggests, three Jokers, called the Comedian, the Criminal, and the Clown. And these three are going on a murder spree across Gotham. And as the bodies pile up, the Red Hood decides that enough is enough, and that the time has finally come to put the Joker down once and for all. However, the Red Hood is working with both Batman and Batgirl, and both of them try to convince him otherwise, because they don't want the Joker killed. But of course, Jason doesn't listen, and just goes off on his own to hunt the Jokers down. And he actually manages to catch up with one of them, and even though Batgirl tries to stop him, Jason still manages to put a bullet in the Joker's head, killing him, and ending the Joker's crime spree forever. Or at least he would, if not for the fact that there are still of course two Jokers left. Now to begin with, Jason does actually intend to kill all three of them, but after he kills the first one, he is getting a lot of guilt from Batgirl, along with other emotions, as Jason and Barbara share a kiss, and basically Jason decides that he won't kill the other Jokers for Batgirl, because he doesn't want to screw up whatever relationship possibilities could happen in the future. It basically comes across that he's not going to kill anyone because he wants to prove himself worthy of dating Batgirl, although she decides not to date him and that the kiss was a mistake. But anyway, getting back to the Jokers, Jason doesn't actually get a chance to kill them, as one of them is killed by the Comedian, meaning there was only one Joker left, and this one surrenders to Batman and goes to Arkham, with the obvious intent of breaking out in the future and continuing the cycle of Batman and Joker's twisted games. Now, Jason obviously has the skills that he could have still hunted this Joker down. After all, he can easily break into Arkham. But he decides not to. And it's not because he doesn't want to. Believe me, he wants to kill the Joker. No, he decides to leave him alone because he doesn't want to let Batgirl down. Because he's got some strong feelings for her and he hopes it can work out in the future. And Jason even leaves a note on Barbara Gordon's door telling her how he feels, saying that if she feels the same, that she should contact him. But if not, well, they'll just go their separate ways and live the life they've been living. But unfortunately, the note falls off the door and is cleaned away by the cleaner, meaning Barbara Gordon never saw it, and Jason Todd just assumes she doesn't feel the same. It's a real bit of a shame actually, because they would actually make quite a cute couple. Countdown to Infinite Crisis. Now, in this comic book series, Jason Todd teams up with Donna Troy and Kyle Rayner on a quest to find Ray Palmer. And in one of the universes they're searching, they come across a version of Batman who kills his criminals. Basically, in this universe, after Jason Todd was killed by the Joker, Batman decided to kill the Joker in revenge, and then decided to go on a killing rampage, and basically kill all of his rogues galleries, and pretty much every supervillain he can get his hands on. His theory being that you might as well just get rid of them, because once they're dead, they can't commit another crime. And this Batman actually does seem to revel in murdering villains, and he actually asked Jason Todd to join him as his new Red Robin, which Jason agrees to, as this is a Batman who actually accepts him for who he is, who doesn't look down on him with judgment, and most importantly, actually avenged his death at the hands of the Joker, unlike the main DC version of Batman who never avenged his death, which is something that Jason has always been angry about. Although ironically, Jason Todd actually begins to find this version of Batman a little bit too bloodthirsty. Now, the main DC version of Batman has said that if he kills just one person, he won't be able to stop himself from killing others, and this universe proves that to be pretty much true. But still, Jason Todd follows him into battle. But sadly, during one of the fights, an alternate version of Superman crushes Batman's skull with his fist. This is because there is a horde of trans-dimensional Supermen just attacking the world at this point. It's a bit chaotic, there's a lot of supervillains and superheroes going crazy on this planet. Now, Jason Todd is naturally distraught and has taken a moment with Batman's corpse to mourn, when the Joker decides to make fun of him and ask if he's going to kiss Batman or just go through his pockets. And so Jason Todd smashes the Joker's head in with a rock, killing him. Now, this happens off panel and we only see the Joker's corpse, we don't actually see him die, but it's made very clear that Jason is the one who killed him. And I'm sure it was a very cathartic experience for him. And in the Red Hood and the Outlaws comic, Jason Todd does imagine himself killing the Joker quite a few times, though these aren't real deaths, they're just Jason's fantasies. So in some respects they don't count, but I thought they were worth mentioning. And finally, Jason is possibly the Batman who kills the Joker in the film Justice League Dark: Apocalypse War. Now, it's not made exactly clear who the Batman is, but we do know that this Batman kills the Joker. And we also know that it's not Damian Wayne, as he is head of the League of Assassins. And we know that it's not Nightwing, as Nightwing died and was resurrected as a zombie. And it's quite unlikely to be Tim Drake, because Tim's never actually been mentioned in this universe. So the most likely culprit is Jason Todd. We don't know for sure, of course, it could be him, it could be someone else, but more than likely, Jason Todd does make the most sense. And that is every time that Jason Todd has killed the Joker. At least at this point in time, as I'm sure there'll be future stories where he kills the Joker yet again. Personally, I think the best one of these is actually when he kills the Joker with some cutlery in a diner. I mean, the Joker is near invincible a lot of the time. He's got that plot armor that allows him to survive the most outrageous of moments, such as falling off a moving train or falling from a great height, or just some ridiculous scenario where he should die, but somehow he doesn't. And yet what kills him in this scene? Just a common dinner accessory. And I think that is brilliant. I mean, what a great end to the Clown Prince of Crime, because it's just so stupid. But which of these is your favourite? And are there any other times you know of where Jason Todd has killed the Joker? Be sure, and as always, thanks for watching, and feel free to subscribe, share, like, and comment.